I'd like to open the July 29th Board of Public Works meeting. And I'm Tom O'Brien, I'm the chair, and I'm present, as well as Mr. Jelinas. Mr. Hebert is absent. So I'd like to ask at this time if anybody's recording the meeting.
Yes, Bob Tadia for DPW minutes.
Thank you. So the first item on the agenda, being that it's hot and the AC is currently turned off, is the reorganization of the board. And we had spoken about this. Mr. Hebert is not present, so we agreed to table it to the next meeting.
Right.
So we're going to go by that one and review it at the next meeting. So the next item on the agenda is to review and approve the minutes of the meeting from 4/23/2019.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from 4/23/2019.
So moved and seconded by necessity. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving right along, we're at the superintendent's report. Are you ready?
Go.
This meeting's moving fast.
Yes, I'm ready. First, I'd like to go over some staff updates for the department. We had quite a bit of changeover in the last few months. We have new highway utilities manager. Daryl Keene has been hired into that position as of May 27th. He will be introducing himself once he's up on this meeting on the agenda. Also, we had hired Dan Tortolet as our new head pump station operator. Josh Foyce is the new department's pump station operator repairman. We hired 2 skilled laborers over the last couple of months, Jason Cruz and Frank Ranzullo. We have also hired actually 3 seasonal employees for the Parks Department. We actually only have 2 left at this point in time. One of those seasonal employees found a job elsewhere, so we're down to 2 seasonal employees. The posting is still out there. It's been out since I believe late May, and just not getting any people interested in that position. We have also posted a new stormwater foreman for the stormwater enterprise fund or that portion of our department. And that posting will be up on August 1st, and we'll be interviewing for that position early next week. Any questions about staff turnovers or?
No.
No? Okay. Parks Division and Maintenance and Standards booklet I've been working on. We have actually hired Valley Green to assess all our town fields. He's actually gone out there, I believe, last week to start that analysis, give us recommendations on how to get our fields up to, I guess, in better condition to today's standards, which residents are looking for us to do so. So those will be numbers I'll be putting together in the upcoming months. Hopefully September or late September, I should be completing that booklet for you guys to review.
What's the main complaint with the fields?
Mainly, it's believe it's just wear spots. The maintenance, I guess, is lacking. Drainage is a big concern. Obviously, this past spring with the excess rain and everything else, it was very hard for us to really get out there. So weather, I think, is the biggest impact, and then obviously to combat some of those issues is drainage systems and putting into a capital improvement plan. But that'll all be laid out in that maintenance and standards book.
So this company is supposed to help develop that process, or?
I'm going to be doing that, but this is just to do soil analysis.
Okay.
And recommend what we should be using on our fields. We currently are just doing a 4-step program without any analysis, so I think we're doing something, but we need to dig in even further because some of the steps we may not even need. So by doing the analysis, it's going to give us what we should be putting down for lime, how to oversee it properly, you know what I mean? Just to do an analysis and the type of grass we have in each location also. So he's going to be going through that with us. He actually has some good experience with ball diamonds, in maintenance of ball diamonds. We're kind of getting pretty good at it too over the last couple of years on how to maintain those with certain products to help with moisture and everything else. So that's going to be all part of our plan moving forward.
Who is Valley Green?
Valley Green is a contractor. They provide fertilizer, like you said, soil analysis, And I believe
Sprinkler system.
the sprinkler systems, they're a landscape company and product supplies.
So grass specialist.
Yeah, he's actually been in the business 30 to 35 years.
35 years, I think he
He's been doing this a long time, so hopefully he's gonna send us in the right direction. Obviously, budget is gonna be the main thing, so I'm gonna get all these analysis done for each location, come up with a cost estimate, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yep. Next item on our list here is capital improvement projects for equipment. We have ordered our new John Deere 950 tractor. That should be coming in soon. All these items were contracts were sent out July 1st, so hopefully they'll be filled pretty quickly. So the John Deere tractor has been ordered. Our 2019 E63 mini excavator through Clark Equipment Company was ordered. Our 2019 S595 T4 Bobcat skid steer loader from Clark Equipment Company was also ordered. And our 2019 Ford F350 with a utility body. And that truck will be going to our stormwater foreman. So those are the equipment that has been ordered. The only other thing I have for your review is the rural lane letter in your packet. We had a resident come in on June 7th to discuss some issues that he is having out at that location. The police department did do some I guess surveillance with a speed summary machine, or it's the VDU that actually tracks speed, and for about a week was out there. They did not find any significant speeding. They had one instance where there was somebody speeding, but it was around like 32 miles an hour. The speed limit out at that location, I believe, is 30 miles an hour. The resident did also, it's actually, yes, 30 miles an hour. The resident did also request us to close down that road, to put a stop sign and some Jersey barriers at the end of the street. I do not recommend doing that.
We're at Rural and Pilgrim?
Actually, no, he wanted it on the Porter Road side.
Oh, like halfway?
No, right at the end of the street. This is a cut through. We have many cut throughs in town. There's not been any accidents or pedestrian incidents out at this location. It is a cut through. We have a lot of cut throughs in town. So at this point in time, I do not recommend doing anything. I don't know how the board feels.
What was the police department's, did they have any input onto this, or just based off of the stuff that they
He
set up
was
here?
kind of waiting for my report. I actually sent it to the chief today. He will be evaluating this and making recommendations himself.
I think these things are usually generated from the police department, right? It's like
It usually is, yes, but I was asked to come up with I guess a recommendation based on our conversations and the data that was collected. at
So
that
what was
location.
the resident's primary concern? This
His kids and things like that, and just people speeding down the street. But like I said, given the information collected by the police department, we did not see any significant speeding going on at that location.
Yeah, this looks
You guys all well know that Meadowbrook School is a very busy school. There's a lot of parents that pick up their kids over there. So I'm assuming and he did state in our conversation that it's only certain times in the day where there's an issue.
Oh,
Avoiding,
they
it's
avoid
usually
the
when
stop
school
sign.
gets, exactly, and
Right.
that's when people are cutting through.
This
But
was-
like you said, it's almost like Day Avenue. There's a lot of locations in town through Dearborn. So like I said, not only did not want to recommend at this point in time, because there's no evidence supporting us to do anything, is you're gonna set a precedence for other locations in town.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even
So
think of that.
I understand his concern, but it's one of those scenarios.
So did they put out one of those speed radar things?
Yes.
So I would like to see can they set up a thing where they don't have the sign, just set up the actual, like, where you can monitor speed without one of those signs
The
up?
problem is that's what they have.
That's all they have.
That's all they have.
Because that's obviously the sign's gonna help slow
Right.
people
So-
down.
yeah,
What is
exactly.
actually happening when the
Exactly.
sign's not there?
Yes,
Right.
increased patrols out there at certain times of the day. So like you said, by police presence, I think alone should help the situation. I believe we put some signs out at that location too, to help mitigate some of the issues, hopefully.
Okay.
So we have done something. We didn't, obviously haven't done everything, based on the letter and the request from the resident, but we have done something.
Yeah, I certainly don't think putting speed bumps is
Right.
the answer.
And like you said, after reviewing speed bumps and everything else, they're not cheap. They're about $50,000 to do a
Challenge for
speed
plow
bump.
drivers
In
and
that too,
safety concerns there.
stormwater,
Right.
water flowing down the street, so there's a lot of things to look at when it comes to a speed bump.
They ever put signs up, like solar powered signs or
We haven't done that.
no?
There's nothing like
There's
that
no
there.
sidewalks there.
There's no
nothing.
sidewalks, it's a pretty narrow street.
Almost every resident has a sign in there, like at the end of their
Or
driveway.
children at
Yeah,
play or something.
yeah. So I think education is a lot of it, and like I said, police presence is the first step moving
Yeah,
forward.
I think it's the best option right
And we
now.
can revisit it down the road if something may change, but at this time, I'm not recommending doing anything at this location.
Sounds good to me.
Yep, same here.
Okay. The last thing I have was for Phil. Phil LeBear mentioned partnering with other communities for bulk purchases of ground supplies. Obviously, I'll be doing that once the analysis has been done for all our fields, and maybe reach out to Long Meadow, or I believe Valley Green is on the state bid list already, so he's just looking for, obviously, the best price for the town moving forward, so we will be looking at that once that study is complete.
What's the annual budget for fertilizer?
I
With the
had
steps and-
25,000 last year, I have 45,000 for ground maintenance supplies this year. It's not,
Yeah, it's
it's-
significant.
it's,
A lot of
right,
land,
so, like I said, once my analysis is done, we're gonna actually get a true number on, an A game field, I guess you can call it, moving forward. So I know we're not gonna get it all, but I'll be looking for the rec department, school department to give me recommendations on which fields they feel are the most important. Okay?
Excellent.
The only other thing I do have in your pack, and you guys can review this on your own time, if you'd like, it'd take us a while to go through it. This is all our open capital projects. It kind of gives you a snapshot of all the past and current projects that we are doing in-house, kind of a status where the budgets were and what's remaining on the project. And each one of these staff here will be going through some of these projects we're currently working on. I just figured I'd share with you.
Yeah, we'll just review it.
And then, like you
later
said,
date.
we'll be running into capital season pretty quickly. We'll be starting that at the end of this month, or well, in August, at the end of August, early September. So we're into that season already. Okay,
Is that it?
that's it.
Thank you.
You got it.
So the next item on the agenda is the deputy superintendent report.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Quick MS4 permit update. We're into year 2. We successfully completed all the permit requirements for year 1. We just have the annual report, which is due September 30th, which is going to be compiling all our data from year 1 and putting that into the state has kind of a template report that they. So we'll be finishing that up, and then right on to year 2 requirements. So, but year 1 went pretty good. We awarded the paving bid this year to Palmer Paving, $575,000 and change. That's Parker Street from Pilgrim to Fernwood, Prospect from Chestnut to Pembroke, and Pease from Shaker to Redden. And there was a couple of areas on each of those roads that we may have to do more than just a mill. We'll have to look at the base once they mill the surface off and see what we're looking at. There was some pretty bad areas on all those
Pease.
roads, so yeah. Well, we had the water break on Pease, so we got to see what the extent of the damage was. We repaved that a few months ago, and it's already pretty wavy, so. So that'll get going probably the next couple of weeks. They've signed the contract, so we'll get a pre-con meeting and start date and start hitting it.
Excellent. Nice job on meeting the MS4.
Yeah, it was a lot of pushing paper around, but we got it.
Hopefully, well, I'm sure.
And I know
parts
Billy
will
liked to
be easy.
read. We got the stormwater management report, another 3-inch document for you to stop by.
He'll be testing on it later.
Yeah.
Feel like
That's it for me.
Feel like Congress give me a day to read it, right?
Yeah, right.
I think you'd get it done.
Yeah.
Thank
that
you,
it,
that's
Tom?
it, that's it for me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next item on the agenda, the Water and Sewer Administrator's report.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We finished up on our water main replacement on Michael Street. Installed a new water main. I believe the old one broke at least 6 times since I've been here. So, doing like, keeping up with our water mains. Distributed our latest haloacetic acid exceedance on July 19th. Even though we did not exceed the maximum contaminant level, the running average exceeds the level. So we had to send out another letter. I anticipate doing this again in September.
This has been
It's
ongoing,
because of
yeah.
the running average.
So our tests were below the exceedance level, but our running average from December last year at 129 is like you said, attributing to our average, so we continue to get that exceedance. So the water's testing below average, but our obviously running average is higher.
So how long before we think our running average will be underneath
December.
December? That's it. Okay.
Once that 129, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's gotta wait for the full year.
But still, it is what it is.
Yep. Okay.
But the water's fine. Safe.
Yes. Just awarded our sewer camera rover to JF McDermott. That was a capital project. So hopefully that'll be in soon and start our sewer main inspections and figure out our troubled spots in town. That's about it.
Excellent. That'll be enlightening. Maybe
all good.
too enlightening. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Building Facilities Manager report.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We've got the roof, the capital project on Maple Shade, Meadowbrook. We're doing the roof. That's going very smoothly. Not a couple wet spots they found. We have to replace the insulation, but it was all to be expected. It's moving along pretty well. They've got three of the 5 sections are done now, except for the trim on the outside. So the membrane's been removed and replaced on 3 of the 5 sections. Maple Shade School, we tried to get a project to redo the steam lines and the tunnels underneath the school. The first bid we got for the whole school is $840,000. So we had 5 and some change. So we're doing the worst half of the school. There was one wing that had a very bad failure. The steam pipe was rotten. So we're getting half the school done. So that's going very smoothly. They're probably halfway done. They're trying to have it buttoned up by the 23rd of August. The school starts the I think the teachers come back the 25th. The kids come back on Wednesday or Thursday. So they're trying to get it done before school starts. That's all 5-inch welded iron pipe. We have to tear up the parking lot to get access into the tunnels to get it in.
Yeah,
It's a
90% of the work.
project.
90% of the work is in these tunnels under the school,
Yeah.
like 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet, maybe at a spot. So,
Oh, that's gonna be fun work.
and that's
Especially this
why
time of
the
year.
expense of the projects has exceeded our budget amount due to that.
Why did it go over the 500,000?
Yes.
It was
so
eight change
the
for
numbers
both.
we received.
Oh, I thought that was for both wings.
No.
But you went,
Eight something was 8 and change was the whole school.
Right.
So we're
right, but
down to
you
4.
went with half.
Correct. Right.
One half had a catastrophic failure in one of the tunnels where the steam was actually hitting the domestic water main. So it was heating the cold water. And the pipe was just unrepairable. You couldn't even put a clamp on it, it was that bad.
Yeah.
We actually put a very temporary patch on it to get it through the winter. So that's why we had to, instead of waiting to bid the whole job again to get some more money, we knew this one half, the south half had to be done this year. So that's
Yeah, we had to get an emergency waiver from DCAM in order to proceed forward without bidding the project. We would not be able to have school this winter or turn on the heat in the facility if we did not move forward with the project. So we did get it done. The guys are doing a great job, so should be good to go for this heating season.
Yeah, personally monitoring that project.
Joe knows what he's doing. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, those guys are getting after it.
Oh, yeah.
They're,
It's working out pretty good because they're
Yeah.
welding, they're flanging all the pipe up top and then just passing it in and bolting it together. So to trying to eliminate welding in the tunnels, you know. And we've tried a couple different methods and different.
to get it in there?
Well, that and Pro Press, the Mega Press it's called. It's a fitting that you can use on steam, but
Rather than weld it?
rather than weld it, yeah. It's like a.
But you gotta get
Pro Press-
that device in there.
Correct. It's a big clamp.
Yeah.
is what it
Hydraulic
is.
press, yeah.
Yeah, and it was, I forgot what they said, the first price they got was $2 and change for fittings. So that's why
Yeah.
they went back to conventional welding, where they can weld it all, again, standing upright, outside welding it, and just pass the pieces in and bolt flange them together.
How old were the the pipes that failed?
1955.
Original.
Yes.
They did their,
Yeah,
they did their job.
Exactly.
Yeah. I saw that truck pull in, I go, that looks expensive.
Yep.
Yeah, that's gotta be a fun.
So I
project.
think we're doing a little more than half the school, so we'll be looking to appropriate more money this year. The estimates that we did receive for the project were done by an outside engineering firm. But during that engineering firm's obviously estimating, they didn't realize the tunnels, confined space requirements these days. So there's a lot of caveats to the job that were not incorporated into the job.
And the tunnels are not finished.
Right,
There's
so
still sand floors
sand
in there.
and everything else, so this
How
is
tall
why
are
the
they?
overage.
Is it 4x4?
No, maybe 4 feet at one, the farthest end down by Birchland, maybe 4 feet, but mostly I would say probably between 3 and 4.
So these guys had to literally crawl in there.
Oh,
That's why it's so
And
expensive.
what is the distance from ventilation?
There's, on this side of the building, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 openings. They have fans in every opening, just to keep the air moving
Yeah.
through there.
It's just a real
They did
tough.
get a confined space and a hot works permit from the fire department, but
Has there been a lot of extras on that?
only the problem that we've had is asbestos.
Oh, you're hitting asbestos.
When we opened up the tunnels, we looked in there and all the asbestos was gone off the elbows. So it was like, jackpot,
Right.
there's no abatement. So then we got a little farther into it and we had the north wing, which we're not doing, the tile floor, and there's the floor had to be cut to get a piece of pipe out,
And the floor is asbestos?
yes.
Mastic
And then there's
Yeah.
two valves, the 2 valves we have to put in the classrooms for the clear story heat, that was all packed. There was a valve in the nurse's office, it's all just coming up as like
Right,
piece
right.
by
Yeah,
piece.
right.
Right.
It's the right era.
Well, because you
Oh,
can't see it,
absolutely.
you're opening up these
Right.
areas and you don't have access normally, so you don't know it's there until you
Right.
open up things, so.
Then Sunday they were there, the bride was there. The part where they had that catastrophic failure, they could not get a piece of clean pipe to connect to. So they had to go up into the wet wall between the 2 bathrooms.
Yeah.
And that was very
Yes.
bad as far as the asbestos goes. So we had to then cut a hole in the outside of the building
Outside of the
to
building.
get access to these pipes.
And
This
then on
is
the
like
inside.
the proverbial can of worms.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
So we've ran into a lot of scenarios, but we're prepared for the second half next year.
Excellent.
But nothing's actually brought us to a halt yet.
Yes.
So like you can work on both ends at the same time, so they're working from each end to get to the middle where the bad part was. That's where they're gonna work towards that.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, yeah. And then the rest most of our annual inspections are done for the years, the boilers, the generators, fire inspections, fire alarm tests for the schools and everything, those are all done, so just about done. We're still doing a couple generators. And we're still working on the Meadowbrook modulars. There were engineers going back and forth between modular and stick built. and it's coming back, it looks like it's gonna go more towards stick built with a slab on grade instead of a basement to keep the cost down.
This is further additions or redoing existing?
Remove and replace. The 4 modulars at the, I guess would be the north end of Meadowbrook,
Yeah.
are in very poor condition, so they're gonna be replaced with four new classrooms and 2 bathrooms, and maybe a staff bathroom if we can get one up there.
Those things were supposed to be temporary, right? There was like,
A long time.
they were
Supposed to be
shoestring
temporary.
budgeted.
Yeah.
back in the-
Temporary, and they were
Yeah.
delivered on site, I believe, in '93, and like I said, they were, I believe, 15 to 20 years old then.
They
They
were
were
used
supposed to be,
begin with,
yeah. So we've actually, in 2007, went through them, sided them, did the floors over because they were rotting, and so we got a few more years out of them, but it's time to replace.
Time for some new schools, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stick built seems the way to go if we're gonna do it though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
If we can
I
swing
think
it,
so.
yeah.
And that facility's in good shape between the other new modular classrooms on the other side of the 12, the new roof, boilers over the last few years, lighting, fire alarm, that facility will be in great shape.
windows.
Yeah,
Windows and doors
yeah.
last summer, so, for the foreseeable future anyway, I don't see, a lot of money that needs to be spent at that facility.
Yeah, I was just there recently. It looked pretty good.
Yep.
It's all, that
Yep.
school's always
We
like
got some
solid.
parking lot redesign, add additional parking, but we'll see, like you said, we spent a lot of money at that facility the last couple of years, so that's kind of gonna be the final piece of the puzzle over there, I think, increased parking. So,
Thank you. Is that it?
That's about it, yep.
All right.
thanks.
Thank you. Moving on, highway and utility manager report.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
If you guys don't know me, I'm Daryl Keene.
Nice to meet
I'm
you.
the new operations manager and utilities manager. I took over the position on May 27th. A little background on me, I've been with the town working on 17 years now. I started here as a mechanic, operator, pump station operator, and head pump station operator, and now here. So,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
Other than that, Joe helped me out in my transition, was he was filling in that spot while I was starting. With his help, he got me going with the work order system, along with everyone else in town hall, and his guys here to help me kind of transition a little quicker. You know, there was a little lull there because there was no one in that position except for Joe filling in doing both. So since then, our work order system, we've got 201 work orders as of yesterday morning. We had 201 work orders completed. We still have a lot in our system. Then with that being said, a lot of them are catch basins. We are severely behind on catch basin repairs. With our water main project going on, our guys did a great job. It just sucks up a whole crew for a significant amount of time. Those guys got that job done. Right now they're doing the finishing touches on that project with looming and seeding and paving. I'm hoping to see that project done.
That's Michael Street.
Yes. Hoping to see that completed hopefully this week. Moving on from there, we had obviously our July 4th celebration in town. That's also another time, sucks up a lot of time for DPW. It ended up, when we did everything, it takes up about 125 man hours for us to set up for that whole deal. Between the fencing and getting the properties ready, schools ready, you know, for fireworks, the parade route and everything, setting up barricades and then removing all the stuff for each year and the cleanup is massive.
That doesn't seem too bad though. 125 man hours
Oh,
for
it's just, yeah,
single man or a crew.
that's
And
just,
that's 3 weeks of about 10 guys.
Oh, that's
That's
oh,
everything
10
all together. It's about
Times 10 guys.
times 10.
yes.
Oh, all right. I was gonna say, how in
it's
the world
just,
do you
it's
do
like
that
I
times
said, I
one?
wanted him to bring that up at our meeting, just so people actually know what we do and prepare for that, and why we're not doing other things during those times, so.
You guys hang the signs too.
We hung all the signs and everything else.
No
Yes.
parking signs,
No
all the silt
parking.
fence, all the you know, the warning fences for the fireworks.
Does that just kind of fall into the DPW's lap and no other departments are willing to help, or do they say, here you go, DPW, you get to do this?
Previously, these were town-run events, they are now private events, but we are still, obviously contributing, I guess you could say, to the cause or to the events.
Mhm.
But I wanted to obviously let you guys know and let the public know what we do to prepare for these events.
So is these civic groups, like the JCs and the,
No one is
Rotary,
charged
their
for our
budgets.
time at this point in time for our services.
But the police details probably get paid, right?
Police and fire get paid, yes, for everything they do, yes.
So it's coming out of our operating budget.
Yes. A total of about what, how much money?
$15,765.84.
all the details come out of the,
The details are paid by the vendor, or for the people that are putting on these events, which I believe is the Rotary Club.
Rotary
That
Club
is actually
handles it
sponsoring
now.
the carnival now
The
and the
Lions
parade.
Club. Or
And
something.
I think it's the
Lions Club.
Rotary,
Is it the Rotary
and
Club?
maybe in conjunction with the
Lions
Lions Club.
Setup went smoothly, cleanup went smoothly as well. From what I gathered, I had no complaints. With that, right after that, we did our step 3 fertilizer for our fields, parks and fields, which we managed to get done because we had to squeeze it in because they had a big jamboree at the high school for a lacrosse tournament. We got all that done so they could have their tournament, and all the fields actually looked pretty decent over there and had everything mowed and prepped, so we didn't have a massive cleanup there as well after the fireworks. The rec department and school committee had gotten a new ball diamond machine. We have received that new ball diamond machine. We're working on trying to get some training for it. It's quite the machine. It's a little awkward, but it looks like it's going to be a great asset to us to help our ball diamonds out in our fields just throughout.
what does it do, just rake it out, and is it
it's-
lined, does
It's
it,
got,
does it do a lot of
it's
things?
scarifying, it does drag, it's got a fence drag, it's got a ton of things on it for the ball diamonds. It's a step above our 3-wheeler we have now. And once we get someone accustomed to using it, it's like a stand-up lawnmower, 0-turn, but you got a couple more levers on it other than a 0-turn mower, so it's, you know, some getting used to. It's not something we just want to throw out there. It's a very expensive piece of equipment. We want to make sure we have someone properly trained to use it and use it properly.
This is brand new?
Brand new. Yeah.
School department.
So the
I believe.
vendor didn't send somebody, they won't send somebody
We,
over to,
I believe Donna Prather is working on it right now to get some information. There was no booklet with it.
there's no booklet?
There was no owner's manual with it or anything. So she's working on getting that for us so we can at least have for maintenance work on it itself, so we can keep track of the machine and maintain the machine properly, and just at least have a little operator's manual to go along with it would help.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Yes. While all this was going on, our water main project was going on, and the 4th of July, we continued to do for the highway department, we continued patching roads, patching potholes. We did continue on some of the extremely hot days. We weren't paving. We did start cutting guardrails, weed whacking guardrails, cutting back with the brush hog. We were also doing that on some of the few rain days that we've had. And we've also had some guys do some of the small tree work orders, hanging limbs and so on, and cutting back some of the brush that would interfere with any of our plowing operations in the winter. As far as tree work, the tree bid for this fiscal year has been sent out. I should have everything back in by this Wednesday, the 31st. And whoever's that will award that to the lowest bidder. And once that's awarded, that bidder will also be handling any emergency tree work that we have throughout the rest of the fiscal year. The water department, obviously, Felix went over that. Tom Pope and our water guys have been still doing their other meter appointments, and they're doing a massive amount of dig safes and markouts as we do every construction year. And then last thing I got is obviously get into the schools before school starts. We've got some sidewalk repairs to do at Maple Shade. We've got 2 catch basins, one at Maple Shade, one at the high school they got to get done before they go back to school. and the properties themselves. Got some tree limbing to limb up, trees to limb up, and grass cutting and pruning and bush and work around the building to make them, you know, spruce them up a little bit. As far as that, I think that's everything I got.
Excellent.
Very nice job.
Just a first observation, I think you guys did a good job on the 4th of July.
Thank you.
I mean, just,
Yep.
the town looked good,
Yeah,
presented well.
it was excellent.
Thank you.
Other business? Do you have any other
I
business?
have no
or
other business at this point in time.
Anybody else have any other business?
Put the fans
AC.
back on.
Yeah.
So at this time, we can schedule the next meeting.
Do you want me to reach out? I'm figuring early September, once the kids go back to school. I'll give an email out to you guys unless you guys have a preference.
Email seems to be working.
That seems to work perfectly, yes.
Okay, all right, very good.
All right, so that wraps things up. So I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the 7:29 Board of Public Works meeting.
Seconded by necessity. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen.